Hey everybody, it's Missy.
And it's April.
And this is SheelaNaGig. Hey everybody. Hi April.
Hi, Missy.
What's going on?
Well, long time no see.
I know. Here we are back. It's SheelaNaGig in the afternoon, so we just got like a little wine spritzer. We thought that would be nice. Right?
Yeah, we have a rule. When we record during the daytime, we don't have anything to drink. But if it's getting towards night-ish, a white wine spritzer.
We should do like a drunken episode. Wouldn't that be funny? A drunken SheelaNaGig episode. We'll have a sleepover. We'll do it. It'll be fun.
It would be fun for you and I. I'm sure it might not be so much fun for everybody else.
It's so funny. When I moved to this house 5 years ago and I was going through all kinds of old stuff, I found these recordings, like these cassette tapes of my friend and I getting drunk in like 7th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so embarrassing. And I listened to it and I just thought, it's time for these to be destroyed. I thought about sending it to her just to mess with her because she's like, kind of Christian now and stuff. I think she would be like
a little more buttoned up.
Yeah. We were, oh my God, we're pretty tipsy and we're just talking about boys we think are cute and then talking about who's got bigger boobs and it was pretty funny. And it was time. I'm like, I have had these cassette tapes for a long time. I think it's good to get rid of them now.
Before your children.
But that would be like you and me though. We would have like a drunken SheelaNaGig episode and a sleepover.
If anybody's listening out there, I promise you this will never happen.
Not if I can help it. Oh my God.
And I can. So what are we doing today,
Well,
Missy?
remember, this is part two.
Part two.
We were talking about how it's Mother's Day every day.
Yes, mostly because we miss the real Mother's Day.
That's not why, April. You're ruining everything.
No, it was. I realized I saw this great piece from the New York Times about listeners who sent in their favorite mother sayings, their mother-isms. And I thought, we probably should have planned a Mother's Day episode. So we decided every day is Mother's Day.
That's true. I like Mommalese better. That's the name of this book I read from at the last episode.
Yeah.
Mommalese is pretty good.
Mommalese is excellent.
Yeah,
I love it.
Mommalese. But yeah, we got, we got some more stuff to discuss for sure.
For sure.
I want to start out with another quote by Erica Jong, but let's just kick it off here. Generations of women have sacrificed their lives to become their mothers. But we do not have that luxury anymore. The world has changed too much to let us have the lives our mothers had, and we can no longer afford the guilt we feel at not being our mothers. We cannot afford any guilt that pulls us back to the past. We have to grow up, whether we want to or not. We have to stop blaming men and mothers and seize every second of our lives with passion. We can no longer afford to waste our creativity. We cannot afford spiritual laziness.
Woo, go Erica Jong.
Yeah. Self-realized, doing her thing. We had talked a little bit too about sink or swim.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
The whole thing about sink or swim, and because you have these experiences, and both April and I have siblings, and I will say in my case that we're all swimmers.
I would say the same. My sister and I are swimmers.
Yeah.
But we definitely sometimes swim in different pools.
I would say that's true of me and my siblings. Like I always say to my siblings, the one thing we definitely have is resilience. We're all incredibly resilient.
Yeah.
That's for many reasons. Some people can grow up in the same house and have very different experiences. Like what makes you swim versus what makes you sink? We don't know.
We don't know.
Exactly.
It's really interesting how some people thrive no matter how hard the task is of growing up or what challenges they had.
Yeah.
But I do want to comment on a homily that I love from the New York Times.
Okay.
And this comes from Allison McCarthy from St. Petersburg, Florida. Her mother said, "Never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty, and the pig loves it."
That is really good.
She said,
and the pig loves it.
And the pig loves it. I still live by this adage she offered us when dealing with any toxic friendship, marital strife, or workplace drama. And it works like a charm.
It really does. That's a very good quote. We should definitely post some of these quotes.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They're really great quotes for sure. And look, I brought a little picture of my mom this time.
Oh,
I believe this is probably my mom was a teacher's aide, as I said earlier. The kids she taught loved her. They would come find me in high school and say, like, your mom changed my life.
Oh.
They all called her Mrs. G. She was a very good teacher. She was very loving with her students. But I think this is probably the last picture she took before she passed away as her school picture. I mean, not last picture, but the last school picture.
The last year she taught.
I was saying she looks a little bit like the Joker.
No, she doesn't. She has maybe a little bit of the Joker's hair, but she actually has Missy's face.
No, I don't think it's the hair. I think it's the eyebrows. It's very thin, like raised eyebrows. It's like kind of Jokerish.
Yeah.
And she was blessed. She always had like really thick hair, which is nice. She looks a lot like my sister Marg, actually.
Yes, she does. I've met Marg, and they do. They look a lot.
But I do have her smile, I think.
Yep.
I think I do have her smile. But yeah,
I'm seeing your face in her face today.
April shared this picture of her mom and her sister. I think it was on her sister's graduation day.
Yes, right.
So I'm going to be posting this too because it's such a it's a period piece.
It is a period piece.
It's very 70s.
Mini skirts were in style.
What year would that have been when your sister graduated?
Oh my goodness. Oh, this was high school or junior high school? I think it was junior high school. Oh, don't make me do math. It had to have been in this mid 70s.
Okay, we're going to say 76 maybe. Yeah, so we're going to post that picture, I think, too, because it's too excellent. It is too excellent for sure. And since last episode, I did collect a few other things as well, just for fun. I was just kind of looking around. For one thing, I have this large envelope.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's from Olin Mills, which is like, they did all the photos, so this must have been from right?
Yeah.
But it's just it's just an envelope I'm using, but it says Mom's Wisdom, cards she gave me. And I have a lot of cards in here. And I have selected, a select few of little things I might share at some point. But,
very nice.
Yeah. Now, how did your mom and dad meet? I meant to ask you that before. I'm just curious.
They met on a blind date.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know too many details about the blind date, but my mother promptly declared she didn't like him.
Oh.
But somewhere he must have kind of charmed
her.
He was very charming. My dad
he?
was charming, yeah. And he wooed her. And the way they decided to get married was they were hanging out at his parents' house or apartment. And my grandmother, Irene, who didn't mince words, said, "Will the two of you stop hanging around? Go do something useful. Go get married." And so they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they elope or something, or did they have a wedding?
They had a very simple wedding.
Okay.
My mother wore a blue dress. Blue was her favorite color. And my dad was in the Army at the time, so he wore an Army uniform. And I think they did it maybe 2 days later. They just kind of hobbled together a wedding, and that was it.
That was that?
Yeah. Do something useful. Go get married.
That was that. And what's interesting about them is they broke up for a while, and then they got back together, right?
That was later in their marriage, yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, my parents split, again, I think I said when I was 10. They did not divorce until I was 26, but they separated when I was 10. And, it was a little rough. I will say they did a very good job of co-parenting, but they sure didn't like one another and made that pretty apparent. So, although it was like, we're going to get together for the kids. We're going to spend holidays together. And we said, maybe not.
No, thanks.
I don't think so.
Don't grace us with that opportunity.
I remember I was in 5th grade when they split up. And I remember I was so sad. I still remember us all sitting in the living room, and my dad was sitting in the rocking chair, and my dad was said, we've decided I need to leave and move out. And it was just so tragic. The whole thing was so awful. And I thought to myself, I'm running away. That's it.
Aww.
But then very shortly thereafter, I realized it was such a better thing because I used to hear them fighting all night long.
Aww.
And I think it's part of the reason I was in, they thought I had learning disabilities because I would, fall asleep in class all the time. And I started doing much better in school. I started sleeping. Things were much better, really, when they split up.
Yeah, when my parents split up, I thought it was great. I was 16. My dad got an apartment. We lived in Queens, and my dad got an apartment in Manhattan. And then they started courting each other, and she started spending time in his apartment.
How much longer? So they split up when you were 16. They didn't divorce. They separated.
No, they separated, and then they lived together in Manhattan.
But how long after he left did she start courting him again?
Or they started.
Yeah,
I think he started courting her.
Okay.
It was a few months. So
within a few months. And then that's when you were living on your own.
Yeah, I was kind of living on my own.
So sad, April. It's so terrible. They just left you in your own apartment. Although at that age you might have enjoyed it. I don't know.
Yeah, at that age it had its ups and downs. I think there was a couple of times where I was freaked out that I was alone, but then there were times like this works. And then they came home. They patched things up and they came home. It was all happened within a matter of months. It was less than a year that they were split.
Wow. Yeah. I do want to share, like I said, I have a couple of these cards. Look at that. Very like 80s.
Oh, yes. Very.
Right? I'm 70s. Look, my mom always wrote the date, which is pretty cool.
Well, that's great.
February 14th, 1979.
Oh, how old were you?
I was 10. That's the year that they split up, which is interesting. And it was in the beginning of that year. So, no, it was like the beginning of the school year. So I think, wow. Let's see. She liked to repeat my name a lot. Liz. She used to call me Liz. Sometimes short for Melissa. Yeah. Dear Liz, I love you, Liz. I love you because you are you. You are very special. You are unique. I love you just as you are. Always be true to yourself, Liz. Enjoy life. Be happy. Be glad you are you. Take care of yourself. Only if you are happy can you make others happy, Liz. And much of your happiness must come from you, Liz. Remember this. No one else can make you happy unless you are happy with Liz. I hope you are. Have a great day, Liz. Enjoyed our little shopping spree together. I love you very much, Valentine.
Oh, this is for Valentine's Day. How lovely.
Yeah.
Did that card make you feel seen and loved?
I think it did. I think she did, although... Again, we had hung the moon or we were the biggest piece of shit on earth. There was nothing in between. So there's this little part of me that always kind of took everything with a grain of salt, I feel like. Like even when I was leaving and she gave me that big speech about look those people in the eye from the last episode, I think okay, Mom, yeah, sure. Everything was always like over bloated. You aren't just, a great person. You are such a wonderful...
So it lost its credibility.
She laid it on thick. She laid it on thick every time, so it almost did lose some of its credibility sometimes.
I could see that.
I guess that's
a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this fantasy of the mom we want. Speaking of which, fantasy of the mom we want. I don't know when White Oleander by Janet Fitch was published.
Yeah.
But there was such a scene in this story, in this novel, about a young girl with a very troubled relationship with her mother. And she was a young woman, like in her teens, 16, 17, maybe 18. And she's with a teenage friend who's about to give birth. And the friend's mother was horrific, abused her in unimaginable ways, which I'm not going to even repeat. And in the story, as this young girl is going into labor and she's in pain, she's screaming for her mother. And the narrator is thinking, why is she screaming for her mother? She couldn't possibly want her actual mother. And I wish I had the full paragraph that Janet Fitch wrote in White Oleander, but Missy, you found a piece for me and I was so taken by it. They wanted the real mother, the blood mother, the great womb, mother of fierce compassion, mothers who would breathe for us when we could not breathe anymore, mothers who would fight for us, who would kill for us, and who would die for us. This idea of idealized motherhood and how I think that we have so many myths and mythology about this fearless, a mother who lifts a car off of a child, this super mother. And so I thought about that as you were just speaking. And I think about that passage often because Janet Fitch really captures this idealization of what motherhood is about.
Yeah.
And how I think all of our mothers, maybe in unexpected moments, personify that.
Yes.
And then maybe, I guess, in other moments, don't live up to it, myself included.
Right. No, I it's true. It's true. And I mean, I remember I used to love it, like when I was sick, even when I was like in my 20s or whatever, to be able to go home to my mom. Yeah. And feel her cold. She has these very cold hands like on my brow. Like I loved that.
Yeah.
But then she told me, because she had a difficult relationship with her mother. She told me she used to pretend she was sick.
Yeah.
Just to get her mom's attention, which is so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. I think her mom just thought, they had nothing in common really, which is really sad. This is an interesting quote by Freud, actually.
Oh.
Let's bring in a little Freud here.
Okay, why not?
Yeah. A thing which has not been understood inevitably reappears like an unlaid ghost. It cannot rest until the mystery has been resolved and the spell broken. In ambivalent attachment, a mother vacillates inexplicably from being loved and tender to angry and threatening. Faced with this unpredictable inconsistency, a child tries to appease the mother, anxious to control and monitor her shifting moods. Again, that is very apropos for me.
Apropos, right?
Apropos for me, for sure. Do you feel that way too, or not so much?
Definitely. I think that there was a lot of tension in my home growing up, and I was always very attuned to when trouble was going to start and what I needed to do to tame it, tap it down, or fix it, or feeling very responsible.
Right. I totally can relate to that.
Yeah. But on a lighter note, Lisa Pollard wrote into the New York Times her mother's saying, "Take tarts when tarts are past, and don't come crying to me when all the tarts are gone."
Oh, that's good.
A good way to say seize opportunities, right?
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, that's very funny. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, look at this, April. This is a letter.
Yes.
Or no, sorry, a card, a Valentine's card, but I didn't put a date on it that I wrote to my mom. This looks though like my early high school writing.
Oh.
Okay.
What did you say?
Let's see. Mom, I thought this card was quite appropriate. Oh, what does it say? First of all, it says, "Happy Valentine's Day. You've brought a little color to my life."
To say the least.
Okay, so, Mom, I thought this card was quite appropriate because since I've moved back, oh, here we go. This is when I moved back. So
yeah.
I was probably 15. You have brought the color back into my life.
Oh.
I feel your efforts every day and I appreciate them as I am trying to. I'm grateful to have parents like I do. I hope we grow even closer in the remainder before college. Thanks again for everything. I love you. Love, Melissa. P.S. Good luck with the men.
Handing out words of wisdom to your mother about dating.
Oh, wait. Okay, that's a little side note. Okay,
Yeah.
So my mom was single, right?
Right.
Now, as soon as my mom became single, and this is again, I was 10, she would go to this place called De Glace to Glace. She loved going dancing and drinking wine at De Glace with all their men hater friends. And she had this little club of women. There was, Carol and Eiley and Paula and her and Therese. And they were like this little gang of like men hater women who were all like divorced, and they would just hang out all the time. And they would gather at our house and drink wine. And, sometimes they'd get so drunk, they'd spend the night on our couches. And, but I became kind of like vice president. My mom was president, but I was kind of like vice president of the Man Haters Club. And I would give them advice.
Oh, I love this.
And they would say like, "Well, I don't know what to do. I met Jeremy at the bar last week. He seemed so nice, but now he's not returning my calls." And they'd be like, "Eiley, okay, here's what you do. You got to stop calling him. You got to stop calling him. The ball is in his court clearly. If you don't hear from him, his loss, okay? We're going to move on. Do not degrade yourself to continue to call him and show up and
And
talk
how
to...
old were you?
15, 16.
15. All these pearls of
17.
wisdom.
Oh, yeah. And I always had the best advice, And, Carol one time threw up in this guy's car.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, Carol... My mom and I had to go get her after she threw up in this guy's car.
I just want to add that great advice giving on dating runs in the family. Your son Nolan I was with your son Nolan when he was handing out dating advice to a buddy.
He's really good at dating advice, even though he's never really dated someone.
That's what I said. I said, "That is so brilliant. How did you know that?" And he said, "I have no idea, and I certainly don't have any life experience."
He gives really good advice. It's true. That's so funny that you heard that. But he is. I was just talking about that with him the other day. He was telling about giving advice to a friend or whatever. But yeah, maybe he gets it from me.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, but I remember my friend and her mom was in the group, and we made up a I wish I was as cool as Mary and Paula are. I saw them standing there. I knew they must have been about 43. Why didn't meet me at 9 so we can drink our favorite wine? Like, we made up a whole song. And then my mom had like a couple guys she dated, and there was this guy Hippie Bill that she dated.
Hippie Bill.
He would bring Fosters over, and she'd always let me have a Fosters with them.
Oh,
and
very
and
nice.
he actually taught me a lot about music. He was really into Neil Young and some really cool music, and he made me these like cassette tapes of music and stuff, so that was kind of cool. But the Man Haters Club was awesome, and I just loved that those women would come over. And I remember one time one of them left like a sexy pair of underpants, and I was kind of freaked out about it. And I was like,
I would think that would freak you out.
I was like, Mom, this is inappropriate to expose your teenage daughter to your friend's like sexy underpants. Like, why does she have these underpants? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is just weird, Mom. There's a lot of woman power going on in that house.
Well, there's a little bit of incongruency between being a man hater and having sexy underwear, unless it was for another woman.
You're right. You're right. And then, like I said, she did have some boyfriends along the way. But I mean, I had a very different bringing up than my siblings, for sure.
I would say so. They had the traditional 2-parent household.
They did. And you know, I did not. But yeah, it was an interesting growing up, for sure. I always found these ladies very entertaining, I have to say.
I think so.
Oh, wait, I have another Valentine. This one doesn't have a date. Valentine, you bring out the kid in me. I love you, Liz. I love having you home, Liz. I really enjoy our times together, such as Sunday. Stay the great kid that you are. Don't let other people or circumstances do you in, kid. Love you, Mom.
You know, it's nice that you saved these cards.
Well, you know, I kind of had to.
You
right?
asked me if, well, that's true. You asked me if I had cards from my mother, and I said no, and I'm sure she gave me cards, but it never occurred to me to keep them.
Well, you know, I showed you some of the stuff my mom would write forever.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
she writes books, dissertations.
Yeah, I'm just going to a couple of short ones here. But wait, here's a little retort, because this is another Happy Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Hi, Mom. Happy VD. I love you very much. Thank you for always listening to me and for always making me feel worthy. You're a great mom, and I cherish the fun talks and good times we have together. We'll get together this week, okay? I'm looking forward to it. Much love, your bratty, sassy daughter, Melissa. Your bratty, sassy daughter. Yep.
Well, you are your mother's daughter.
I am, and like, paybacks are a bitch, man.
Yep,
That's all I can say. Paybacks are a bitch.
Yes, as Ellery goes into her teen years full of sweet attitudinal comebacks on you, just remember you were your mother's daughter and paybacks are a bitch.
It's true. Well, I'm dealing right now with Ellery, who's got like her first like real, I shouldn't say real because she's 13 and he's 14, but boyfriend. And it's killing me. And I was telling April, you know, she's been honest, but, you know, she's been getting together with friends at the mall. And the other day I just kind of said to her, you know, whatever you do, stay with your friends. Do not go into the parking structure and go make out with this boy. That is, and as I said it, I realized that's exactly what I used to do. And I thought, why am I giving her fucking ideas? What am I doing? What am I doing? And she's like, Mom. I'm like, no, I was your age once, you know, but it's not like I can prevent it.
Okay, so here's an April-ism for you.
Oh, good.
Keep your friends close and your daughter's boyfriend closer.
Yes. Well, I was telling April that she had said something about inviting the parents. She's met his parents, I guess, at this point, and having them over for a game night. And I was like, what? But April's like, that's a good idea. You need to do that.
Watch them. Keep them close.
Yeah, keep them close. But yeah, just a little thing about my mom. And granted, I was a little bit older. I know kids are maturing more quickly, but a little quick side note about my mom. When I was 15, I got my first real boyfriend. And he and I one day went to this like secret place where everybody would kind of go to make out. It's near this dentist office, but it was kind of off the beaten path, a lot of overgrowth and kind of wood. And there was a bench there, so you could kind of lay down on this bench and make out or whatever. So my boyfriend, Colin, and I decided to go there and make out. And my mom, convinced my best friend to tell her where I was. And she just, my mom scared her into it, I think. And so I just remember we're making out, and all of a sudden I see my mom's station wagon driving up on the grass into the, full, and I see Sandra, my friend, in the front seat, and my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, it's my mom. And she gets out, she's like, both of you get in this damn car. And I was like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And she took us back to my house. I remember she sat Colin and I down in the kitchen, and she gave us an hour lecture about teenage pregnancy. Scared the shit out of me, and I thought, he's going to dump me so hard that's it. She's ruined everything. Well, we went together for another like 2 years, so it was okay. But oh my God, did you have stuff like that happen with boys?
No, my parents worked. I knew what time they were coming home. I knew what I can get away with, and when it was time for the gentleman to leave.
Wow. And they never suspected anything?
I don't think they cared. I mean, I don't mean that I think they didn't worry about me. They thought I was a pretty quote unquote good kid.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I think I was maybe not quite as worthy of
the
title.
Jeez.
Not that I was crazy wild, but it was that time, Yeah. Well, I want to share Michelle Moore's mother's wisdom from Charlottesville, Virginia. And that is, a hard head makes a soft behind. Meaning, being stubborn, stupid, or not heeding wise counsel can have negative consequences. So, don't be such a hard head.
Don't be a hard head. Wow. Those are interesting. Yeah.
And from Dawn Norris Dork in New Canaan, Connecticut, the tone makes the music. Meaning, throughout life, it taught me that context is just as important as content. But you like this one. If you can't hide it, decorate it. You'd be surprised how many circumstances you can use for work products, home, food, and decor.
Wow. If you can't hide it, decorate it.
But this is my personal favorite from Lynn Morton in Pittsboro, North Carolina. Don't put your crazy on the front porch.
Don't put your crazy on the front porch.
Don't you love that?
I do love that. I feel like my family put their crazy on the front porch every day. Like we were like the family, like the loud family, like the family, like nobody was allowed to play with us because we were so, like, my sister and my mom would get in like fights in the front yard and be like hanging on to each other and like literally like hitting each other. And I mean, we always were putting our crazy on the front porch. No wonder.
My family, too. My dad would get drunk and he'd throw these scenes in public places.
Really?
Yeah. So we put our crazy on the front porch quite a bit.
We have to remember that one.
Yeah.
Don't put your crazy on the front
porch.
Right. Do I put my crazy on the front? I don't think I do. I think I'm better at that. But no, totally. Okay, wait. Oh, this is good. So when My Left Foot came out,
yes,
my mom got me this book because she thought that, and this was from April 2nd of 1990. That means 22. Melissa, you and Christy Brown share such an artistic nature, both as artists and writers, that I know you will just love his story. I'm sure, regardless of his, I can't read that word, of his infirmity, oh my God, that you often will feel that you have walked in his footsteps. I'm so glad we could share a story together on your 22nd birthday. Much love. May this propel you to keep on writing. I hope you always write, Melissa. The world will be a poorer place if you don't publish someday. Melissa, just as Christy did.
Oh.
It's like, so, I mean, bless her heart. That's wonderful. That's very nice. You know what I mean? I should be very grateful. But like, she just came on so strong. You know what I mean?
A little over the top.
A little over the top, yeah. But it's funny. The other day, I caught my son talking about his parents. I went to pick him up from something, and he was like, and he was saying, my mom always oversells everything. She oversells everything. He's like, my dad, on the other hand, undersells everything. But my mom oversells everything. And I'm like, no one. Where do I get that? Where do I get that?
Runs in the family.
Yeah, apple doesn't fall too far, right?
Right.
Yeah. What are some of, like, I mean, obviously you probably have some stories about, did you ever get in trouble as a teenager?
This is so sad.
Did you block it out?
I don't remember getting in trouble because my parents trusted me. Like, I would go out at night and they'd say, will somebody walk you home? And I would say, yes, of course somebody's going to walk me home. Of course, nobody walked me home.
April?
I didn't live in the same direction as most of my friends, so I walked home alone. But I wasn't going to not walk home alone. But my favorite thing was when I was 10, I convinced my mother that it was perfectly fine for me to go to school on the subway.
Wow.
Yeah, and when my own children turned 10, I realized that was so inappropriate. But once she gave me permission to take the train to school, because I went to a school outside of our district, I didn't go to the local public school, and once she granted me the permission to ride the subway, I felt that I had full permission to go into Manhattan and go into the city and do whatever I wanted.
A 10.
Yeah. And it didn't occur to me until I had my own children how young 10 is and how inappropriate that was. But I wasn't, they thought I was a good kid, and I mostly was a good kid. And what did you do? Like in middle school and high school, we smoked pot. Everybody smoked pot. It wasn't only bad kids. It was the 70s, you know? And so I think my parents thought I was a good kid, and I pretty much was a good kid. But then, when I came to California, some people were very shocked by the freedom I had and some of the behavior I participated in and didn't think about.
Right. That is, wow. I mean, that is pretty amazing. And I mean, you must have had a lot of courage, too. That was very brave of you. I mean,
I didn't think so.
Well, granted, it's the way you grew up, so we're kind of used to it.
Right.
But to me, being somebody that did not grow up with the subway, that just seems really crazy. Wow.
Well, I am in hindsight very lucky that nothing ever happened.
No, you are. You are. I used to dress up like this character, and I would wear like a trench coat and a Richard Nixon mask, but I would powder it down so it looked more like a face, and then I'd wear a hat, and I had a briefcase, and I'd stand by the edge of the street and just wave to people.
Oh,
I think Mr. Ferguson. That's what it was.
Mr. Ferguson. I remember you telling me about it.
People would just be like, "What?" And I would just kind of wave. I mean, it was just like a social experiment. I thought it was fascinating, and people didn't know. And I lived on a fairly busy street. And then eventually, like, Mr. Ferguson would have his own lemonade stands, but they would be silent lemonade stands. So I'd be perfectly silent, and they'd be like, "Oh, we like your outfit." And I would just put my hand out for the money, and just like. But my mom, after a while, she'd be like, "Oh, kid, go fly a kite. Go be Mr. Ferguson. Go."
Go
take
Ferguson.
I'd be like, "Go take a powder. Go fly a kite.
Okay.
Go be Mr. Ferguson."
Okay, next year for the New York Times, you're going to submit the statement from your mother, "Go be Mr. Ferguson."
Right. Go be Mr. Ferguson, and nobody will know what the fuck it is. My mom was always just like, "That was creative. Go do your thing.
Go do your thing. Go be Mr. Ferguson."
Exactly. You know, it's funny, April, when you're talking about how your parents would say somebody's going to walk you home or whatever. I was just thinking about, like, sometimes, like, in our conversations, you just have these tune-out moments that I always know when they come. Like, I always know she's not listening to me at all. I wonder if they knew that. Because, like, we'll be talking and I'll say, "Oh, and don't forget." And you'll be like, "Yeah, okay." And
I'm not listening.
Right.
Yeah, I think I learned that through my parents.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
Yes.
I learned that through my parents.
Yeah.
It was sort of like Kathy Coates' quote from Cape Cod, Massachusetts: "Double the liquor and dim the lights."
Well, oh my God, double the liquor and dim the lights.
Yeah, I was like, who cares?
That's a good one too. That is really good. Okay, wait. I sent her a Mother's Day card.
Yeah.
And I said, "Happy Mother's Day. I'm sorry I can't be there to spend it with you, but I'll be thinking of you as I sing Mother's Day." That's a song I wrote, which I'll tell you about in a minute. "Thanks so much for all your support. I'm very proud of you, Mom. I know it's been a really tough year for you, and I so admire your spirit. Please never lose it. I'm with you all the way. Keep up the good work and positive outlook. I'm so glad you're my mom. Thank you for your patience, understanding, and thank you for loving me. I love you." And then, but it was funny because I had the song called "It's Mother's Day," and it was like, definitely like it was a rock song. It was definitely like a grunge rock song. And it was, "It's Mother's Day. She placed the flowers on her grave. It's Mother's Day. So glad I'm not like you. Swear to God, I'm not like you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Guess I'm a lot like you." Yeah, it was like our big hit, Mother's Day.
I love it.
And she was, I remember I played it for her, and she was like, "Well, I don't know if I like this song."
Well, I'm sure she didn't.
I don't know. So that it's kind of like that I said that I'm thinking of you as I'm singing Mother's Day. Aww. She knew exactly what song I was singing.
Right.
That song. That's kind of funny. So this is, again, I just went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first moved to LA, I had this, I packed up a lot of my mom's boxes. I never really went through them. I actually still have some I haven't gone through. Can you believe that?
I believe that.
Yeah, there's still some I haven't gone through, which is crazy. But so I was I just moved to LA. I was in, LA for a few months, and I had one of the boxes, and I thought, okay, little by little, I was going to go through these boxes, whatever. So I'm going through this box in the evening, and I pull out this book called Did I Tell You by Elizabeth Knapp. Now, my mom was kind of notorious for like buying things and losing them and then never giving them to like she had a really hard time keeping track of things.
Was she ADD?
Yeah, I believe she was ADD for sure. So I'm going through this and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is nice. And it says, oh, did I tell you, a message to a daughter as she is almost grown by Elizabeth Knapp. And I was like, oh, that's cool. This is a nice book. Maybe she meant this for like, me or one of my siblings or, And I started kind of going through it, and I started just turning it, and then all of a sudden it was like, I turned to this page and it says, did I tell you to be creative, to explore the seed within you, find your creative spirit and let it grow? And then she says in her writing, keep nurturing your creative spirit as you are doing so well right now. Out of this has come Strange Bedfellows and Breach.
She wrote that.
She wrote it to me.
She wrote that.
And it's like, but it was like I felt like I was reading it from beyond the grave. Wow. You know what I mean? Because she never gave it to me. Oh. And I was like, what the hell is like? And I just kept looking.
And just let people know, Breach is your
that's my band. That was
band.
And before that, I was in a band called Strange Bedfellows back in Detroit. But that's the only one she wrote in. But like, it's this beautiful thing, and like. And did I tell you the joy and challenge of being a woman, the joy of having a child, knowing and sharing a new life, the joy of making a home, the center, but not the limit for the lives of those you love, the joy of exploring a third dimension, a world of your own, discovering and fulfilling your own capabilities. So it's a whole book about, what you want to tell your daughter, like what you want them to know.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's interesting because like my sisters got married at 25 and 26. And I remember she looked at me and she said, you're not going to do that to me, are you? Yeah. And I was like, no. I was such on a path with my music and my touring and my, and I kind of knew that I would be, I didn't get married until I was 41. We've talked about this or whatever, but I always think like, oh, my mom would have been proud of me. But, she'd say, listen to me, see the world, do your thing. You only get one life. There's always time for other stuff. Like this is you about you. Do your thing. And she'd say, and never be beholden to a man. And this is like I could tell this was all the advice that she wished that she had been given.
Right.
Because here she married at 21. She gave up her career. She had 4 kids. She was never able to regain herself.
Right.
And I think that her legacy was to just pass this on to us, like to let us live that life she didn't get to live.
Right. And how nice that some of that did come through to you as opposed to maybe some of the grandiosity that she packaged some of her messaging on.
Yes.
That there was that sense of really the specificity about you, your writing, your music, and really wanting that for you.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty special.
I mean, I love this exploring mom's legacies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share 2 more from the New York Times. Jeff Dowd shared his mother saying, if you don't go, you won't have a story to tell.
Oh, I like that.
And don't run after a streetcar that doesn't want to stop for you. And that was given by Sherry Gross Cohn of Chappaquidda, New York. And I love mother's euphemisms, mother's sayings, and I think most of all, mother's wishes for their children.
Yeah.
I think even though my own mother was complicated and maybe didn't enjoy motherhood or relish it the way some mothers did, I think that every one of us who are a mother have their hopes and dreams for their children, and those little gems that come out of their mouths sometimes are just so wonderful to celebrate.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And I laugh with my siblings. We always get together and we talk about my mom and we tell stories and things she said, and it's unending, and it's pretty funny. And at the end of the day, I know at least my oldest sister and I and my brother felt very loved. I would say my sister Jenna, maybe not as much. I think that they really had a trying relationship, which is maybe like your mom and Wendy.
My sister and my mother definitely had a more contentious relationship where I felt like I had a very strong love-hate relationship. And I've written about that. And, I always want to come to some kind of conclusion or ending about it, and the truth is it's mixed. It's both. It's complicated.
Yeah, it is. It's complicated. Yes and no, it is true. It is totally true. Another little card from my mom. This is so fun. Let's see. So my mom was Irish, of course, and then this says Melissa O'Gibson, my wonderful Irish Colleen. And then okay. Top of the morning to you, Melissa. Look forward to having you be part of our little Irish gang at Mavericks. And then she goes, it's very nice. It's very nice. She goes, honestly, she appreciates me because she was getting sick. I couldn't make it without you. You are wonderful. Please stick with me, Melissa. I've got a long way to go. Keep me in your prayers. I love your wonderful Irish spirit. So, yeah, that was a tough time. And what's interesting is that as a kid, I was always dragged out to Irish music my whole life from the time I was very young. And I didn't always love it. And then when I got to be like in my early 20s, late teens, my mom would always go out for like St. Patrick's Day was a big day. She'd go out to this place called Mavericks. And then as I got to be, an adult, I went with her and her friends to Mavericks and it was super fun. And we'd listen to Irish music or whatever, but never in a million years did I think that I'd end up in an Irish band, which I've been in for 27 years. But I always see that as like a little homage to my mom. Like that was something, I wish... she would have loved the Irish band. She really would have loved the Irish band, and it never quite worked out. But, for her to see the Irish band. But I do think about her and think about, how that's a little bit of an homage to my mom, for sure. In fact, this is a picture of us at Mavericks right there.
Oh, wow.
I think this was her last St. Patrick's Day. She's looking pretty rough.
Yeah, she's
very pale,
fragile.
very gaunt. Yeah. That's her, bestie Carol over there. That's the one who threw up in the guy's truck. And there's me in a shirt that I still wear, which is this amazing, olive tuck shirt. Yeah. But anyway, this is really funny. Remember I was talking about how my mom started things and didn't finish them?
Yeah.
This is from April 4th, 1968. I was born on April 2nd, 1968. Dear Mom and Dad, congratulations. You are grandparents again. Can hardly wait for you to see her. She is really quite a girl already. That was that. That was it. That was the whole note. She didn't finish it. That was
short and sweet.
But April, I was already quite a girl already. Let me assure you.
I am assured.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Mary said it, it must be true.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure that your mom, you told me, what did you, I remember when I was reading about your mom, like a story about how you went shopping with your mom.
Yeah.
Tell me that story. That's a good story. It's upsetting, but it's...
Well, my mom had this fabulous figure, and there's nothing worse than being a teenager and being a little bit overweight. She always said, you need to lose 5 pounds.
I can't believe she would say that to you. Oh my God.
I was never, really heavy, but, when you're young and you're self-conscious, and of course, so many females have body dysmorphia. We just don't feel good about ourselves. And I remember a friend of mine as an adult who I'd gone to high school with, and she was like, I remember hating my body, she said, and now I look at the pictures of us, and we were such cute young girls.
Of course, yes.
What were we hating?
I know.
And if only we could have gone back to our younger selves. But my mother had this amazing figure. It was a bikini figure, and we had gone shopping, and I was never comfortable with clothing, and I didn't have a sense of style or fashion. And I found this blouse that I just loved, and it was on sale, and I just found this gem. I was about 16.
Okay.
And my mother looked at it and she said, "Oh, what a beautiful blouse. I want to try that on." And she grabbed it out of my hands and she tried it on. She says, "This is more suited to me."
Oh.
And she bought it for herself. And
Did you ever even get to try it on?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I was sure it was the perfect top for me. And I remember just feeling this burning sense that something was wrong, that my mother shouldn't have, taken that from me, But my mom, who I think underneath a lot of her bluster, was probably very insecure herself. She had a great figure. She had beautiful clothes. But I think she was always not quite confident and competed with my sister and I. And that was just a memory that where something said, that's not the mother I would ever want to be.
Yes.
And so I think it's been really great because when my daughter grew into my dress size and she would wear some of my clothes, it always looked much better on her than it did on me. And that she's a young, beautiful girl, as it should. And I remember feeling good. I'm happy I'll never wear that again because I am happy my daughter looks so cute that she ruined it for me. Like, it was a loving thing. It felt good.
I get that.
And so I felt like that healed something, getting to wish for her to be young and beautiful rather than compete with her. And tease her and say, okay, you ruined that outfit. I'll never wear it again. And then hug her and kiss her and be happy. You know, that
Very
was
different
healing.
experience.
Yeah, it was a healing experience.
Yeah, I'm sorry, though. I mean, I know that your mom was my mom suffered from mental illness. I think your mom was a little bit of a narcissist. We both had things to contend with, for sure. My mom, like, speaking of kind of mental illness, my mom, I mean, there's so many stories, but this one really sticks out in my brain. When I was in, I think, 7th grade. I would be Ellery, my daughter's age. I think I was in 7th grade. And I used to take the bus to school in the morning. Well, this particular morning, and she was a teacher, right? So she's a teacher's aide. So she was leaving, I would walk to the bus and she was still getting ready, and then she would go drive herself to school. So this one morning, I don't know, for whatever reason, I missed the bus. So I come back and I said, Mom, I missed the bus. Can you give me a ride to school? And she was just manic. She was just like, what? You're going to make me late for school? Oh, no, you're getting on that bus. You're getting on. I'm like, Mom, it already left. She goes, oh, no, you're getting on that goddamn bus. Get in the car. I was like, what? What do you mean? And it's snowing. It's freezing cold. It's snowing. She's got this look in her eye. She's completely manic. I'm like, what the fuck is it? And she's just like, we're going to catch that bus. And she starts driving like 100 miles an hour on these icy roads, like not even like, paying attention to the fact that it's dangerous. Or skidding out, and she's just like, we get up to Riverside, and there's the bus. Because obviously it's had to stop along the way, so we were able to catch up to it. She starts banging, and everyone in the bus is looking, and I'm trying to duck. And then the bus keeps going. She starts playing chicken with the bus.
Oh my God.
And I'm not even, it was the craziest shit. And everybody's looking out because they realize it's my mom. They knew her car. They knew, and they're pointing, and I am literally tucked into the passenger seat on the ground, and she's grabbing me by my hair and pulling me up and pointing to me. I'm getting her on the bus. I mean, it was so, nothing could have been more embarrassing. And then I just remember that suddenly we skid out. She hit this ice, and the bus kept going, and we just started skidding and turning in a circle. And I thought to myself, we're gonna die. And I thought, I'd rather be dead than get on that bus. I remember that being my last thought. It's okay, because I'd rather be dead than get on that bus at this point. I was so embarrassed. Everybody knew it was me. I was never able to get on. And so we skid out, and it seemed like we were just turning around in circles forever. And then we flew into this front yard, a pretty big front yard, this big house, and there was a giant rock. Other people maybe had gone into the house before, because it was kind of near a corner or whatever. And she just slammed right into the rock. And then I just remember my eyes were closed, and I opened my eyes, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're okay. And all I could hear was from all four of the tires.
Oh gosh.
And she looked at me and she goes, go knock at that door, call your father, and tell him what you've done. And I remember I go to the door, I knock at the door, and this man came out, and he didn't have any teeth, and it was very early in the morning. So he hadn't put in his dentures yet. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We skid on the ice, and we're okay, but can I use your phone? I've got to call my dad. And he was like, okay. And I called my dad. I don't remember what happened after that, but I will never, ever. And then everybody teased me for months about,
I'm sure,
my crazy ass mother, who put all our crazy out on the front porch.
Yes.
Who put the
Don't put your crazy on the front
Who
porch.
put the crazy on the, and there's like a million stories like that. Those were.
Well, that's the challenge of being parented by parents with mental illness and personality disorders and different kinds of things. And, we started this episode really kind of wanting to celebrate the wisdom of moms, but I don't know.
We're celebrating a lot of things. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be who we are or be here today.
It's true.
If we didn't have the mothers we had in some regard.
Right. Yep.
Whether that's about sink or swim or whatever that's about.
Whatever it is.
And I think that's important to kind of acknowledge that. Like our stories might not be perfect. We might not have the same story as our friend we were talking about earlier, who goes unnamed, but we both know who we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We don't have those kind of stories, just joyful stories, sweet, wonderful,
consistent.
And I mean, obviously, some of these cards have been really lovely and nice and kind of fun for me to review. And it's not, like you said, it's not black or white. It's complicated, and relationships with our mothers often are complicated.
They are.
And maybe they're supposed to be. Maybe that's the nature of. Look at Dare Wright.
Right.
Yes. Oh, good God. Good God.
Good God.
Good God.
Now there's an enmeshed mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah. And again, remember there was that part that I was reading about that writer who was like, how is it our place to judge whether that's appropriate or inappropriate? Like maybe that made her who she was. Maybe that, that inspired who she became. So maybe there was a reason for that. I don't know. It's
complicated.
It's complicated. Yes. But this has been so fun, April, and I mean, it has been fun, even though it's been like, certain parts have been trying or whatever. But is there any a quote that you want to end with or anything?
Let's see. There's an end quote that we can finish with.
And I have one too, so let's do it. Here we go. Go ahead.
Well, Paula Gallant of Hamilton, Ontario simply said, "Some days are diamonds." This saying helped me realize that life would always be full of good days and bad days, and behind every bad day, there was a good one waiting to shine through.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
What's your quote?
Well, I'm going to go back to my Did I Tell You book that my mom meant to give me that she never did give me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that goes back to when I was a kid. She let me pick out some wallpaper. And I picked out this beautiful, it had yellow roses on it. It was bright. And I was so excited and we picked out this wallpaper and we bought it. And then it sat in my closet for 18 years. We never wallpapered my room.
Aww.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Yeah. So this is that book that she never gave me, but she meant well, and it obviously was for me.
Yes.
But okay, so here's the last page of this book, and it says, "Did I tell you these things as we went along the way? If I did, I am humbly grateful. If I did not, then you must choose for yourself. If it has meaning, accept it and make it your own. If it does not, discard it. Your life is yours to build as you choose. And did I tell you, I hope it will be a good life."
That's lovely.
Kind of lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's to Mary Jean and Roz.
And Roz and all the mothers out there.
Clink.
Listeners.
Please share your mamas with us. Every day is Mother's Day.
Yes, every day is Mother's Day.
It's a heck of a job. Thanks for doing it. Somebody's got to do it. And I mean, I'm grateful to be a mom, and I know April is too, but it's not always easy. Yeah. And there's it's complicated. We say again, it's complicated. Yeah. So, Bree, we want to hear your stories. We want to hear about your moms. We want to hear about your experience as a mother. Anything you want to share with us. And we love those 5-star reviews, by the way. They really help us.
Thank you.
We love for you to follow us. We love your subscriptions. Keep it all coming. And until next time, bye.
Bye.